Good morning. What the hell's going on with my hair, man? Maybe it just all needs to be cut off. Hey, how we doing? We all good? We ready? We alive? It's Sunday. No workout yesterday, as I got told at short notice, you've got to go on a training course. Like, okay, 3 hours staring at a phone to pick up the ideas. Yay! So, today, good morning. What are we doing today? We're doing technique session, upper body focus. So we're going to pick holes in general upper body movements, find some little adaptations, little twists and bits we can do to it. So it's not necessarily the most intense workout for this session. Okay, we'll make up for that tomorrow. But we're going to refine some ideas, ways to tweak some of the movements for upper body stuff. Good morning, Julie. So we are going to go through, this is the order for today. Bicep curl, front raise, side raise, bent over raises for back of the shoulder, shoulder press, bent over row for the upper back, tricep extensions, tricep kickbacks, lying down tricep extensions, flies for your chest, chest press, and then plank toe touch. So it's all upper body, 2.5 minutes on each exercise, 30 seconds in between to kind of shake it off and recover and work out what the hell we're doing. If you don't want to use that 30 seconds or all 30 seconds to recover, keep training into a little bit of it. It's fine. It's okay. Alright, so upper body movements, weights based, which means your warm up, is mobility. Yeah, so we get nice and steady, swing it through 12 exercises, 2.5 minutes work, 30 seconds rest, 36 minutes for the main set. Quick warm up, quick cool down, and then we can go for coffee, breakfast. I can sit down and mark some students' work. Yay. Let's go one arm up, one arm down. And then I can go and make some phone calls, make some appointments, keep myself busy. What are you going to do for the rest of the day? Let's take your arms across the body. Get that little bit of a stretch. Boop. Through the chest. And then hands to the back of the head. Little bend in the knee, tip forward, stand it up. Just nice and steady, little bend in the knee, tip forwards just to wake up the lower back. It will be working later. And alright, okay. Just shake your arms loose. So it's mobility, just kind of getting things loose. It's technique that we're looking at today. So we're going to go for bicep curls. I want you to start with one weight. A single solitary weight. Have the other one handy. We will need it in a little bit. We're just going to come up with options and alternatives for things. So, first things first, I've got the weight in my left hand. Right arm across the body, left arm in front. So my left elbow has got my hand right behind it, yeah? Hand sits right behind. All this does, this keeps the arm forward so that even when it comes out straight, you get a really deep stretch off the bottom of the bicep. And then it lifts back up. It's that stretch that opens the muscle. So we are going to introduce these into this week's workouts. There's a bit of an isolation for the bicep. Give me 2 more, and then we'll change sides. And we'll take it the other way. So same thing. Hand dropped behind. Get that full stretch at the bottom. And then when it curls up, bring it all the way up to the top. Hand in nice and close. so you can't break free. So give me another 3 here. And we're going to grab your other weight. Okay, so bicep curl. Now some people do 21s because you do the bottom half 7 times, top half 7 times, and then the full movement 7 times. We're going to do it the other way around. We're going to go full 7 reps. Let your hands come back behind you slightly so we still get that full stretch. So 7 reps here. Once you've done your 7, we go halfway, lift, only down to halfway, level to the floor. 7 of these. And once you've done your 7 there, you go all the way down, you go halfway up. So these are 21s, these just give the bicep a little bit more of a shock. Last bit we're going to do for biceps right now is rather than curling forwards, we're going to turn it elbows in, hands out to the side, and curl outside the line of the body. So we can hit the inner part of the bicep. This is the bit where everyone says, go on flex, show us your guns. This is kind of giving more mass, more shape to that part. There we go. Alright. Weights down, shake your arms loose. So that's ideas for biceps, where we've got isolations, or kind of preacher curls, a version of them. Then we've got 21s, and we've got outside. Next one is front raises. Ready? So front raise, front of the shoulder, split your stance to begin with. 1 foot forwards. Palms facing down, lift it up, shoulder height, and back down. So as it comes forwards, little pause, and back. If you want to keep your feet together, just keep a little bend in the knee. Keep that tummy in nice and tight. It's nice and stable. Lift and lower. Don't just lift it up and drop it. Otherwise it'll start to swing. And it becomes a pendulum. And that doesn't naff all for your shoulders. Fucking wear them out. Lift it. Pause. Bring it down. Now you can do it with your palms facing each other. You can do it with your palm facing up. You can mix it up and do some of each. It's that little bit of a mix. Changing your hand position, moving the arm round, will change the way things start to work. Okay? All we're doing here is we're trying to pick on, we're trying to isolate the front of the shoulder where it ties into the chest. So you get that nice bit of control. Now you could do it just one hand at a time if you wanted. Or we could do this. You can lift it up. Bring one down, one up. So you've got that static contraction to hold one arm up. But also, keeping the weight out at arm's length. You've got to keep your tummy in tight. Keep everything working, yeah? And you can mix it up. You could go 1 rep, and then do that split, bring it down, full rep, and then do the split. And each time you do that split, you can change your hand position. So for my next one, I've got to do it palms up, which also works the bicep a little bit more as well. Ten seconds, come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab a drink. So we've done the bicep. We've done the front of your shoulder. Now we're going to do the side of the shoulder. So side of the shoulder, I need you to keep, you're going to start it out 90 degrees in the elbow, okay? Throw it down the weight to begin. Let's get the technique in position first. Put your weights down. Yes, you, put them down. Okay, so 90 degrees in the elbow. Bring your hands in very slightly. Now if you imagine that your thumb is the spout of a jug, as you lift your elbows to the side, that jug tips out, yeah? Nice and steady so it tips. You can pour out of the jug. That's what you need to focus on. You should feel it on the outside of the shoulder. As you come up, you tip, get your thumb down lower than your little finger. So it turns over as you get over that movement. Then if you do it with your arms a little bit straighter, so not 90 degrees or just inside, arms a bit straighter, same thing, slight bend in the elbow. You're pulling the weight apart, you're turning your hand over. Let's try it. Grab your weights. So, you don't need your arms dead straight. If your arm is completely straight, the stress will go through the elbow joint and mess up the joint itself. Little bend in the elbow, lift up. Try and turn your hands over a little bit. Control it on the lift and on the lowering. And then the next thing to think about, I don't know if you can see in the reflection on the side of your TV, in a mirror next to you, in your phone or something, try not to let your shoulders bounce and flap up and down. Try and keep them fairly still so that you just pull apart. That way the shoulder girdle is fixed in place. The muscle has to work to move the arms. The muscle has to contract around the shoulder to lift that weight out to the side. If your shoulder girdle's flapping around, there's less work going on in the shoulder itself. So when you see all the people in the gym, remember gyms, those things you used to go to? Remember them? When you see people in the gym doing the chicken dance, making stupid noises, you know they've got too much weight, or they're doing it for power. They're not doing it to control the movement. I want to rock. 7 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So, we've done the bicep, we've done the front, we've done the side. Back to the back of your shoulder. Back of the shoulder is really important. It keeps that posture, it keeps everything in place. It also stops you just kind of punching and slouching in all the time. It gives you more support. It gives more shape to the whole body. Okay, so, bent over row. Again, no weights to begin with. Bent over raise. Start it out, little bend in the knee, push your bum back, as if we're doing bent over row. Okay? But from here, you're going to keep your hands down in front, thumbs in at the middle, and the same as we've just done with side raise with the weights, pull it apart. Now you don't need to get all the way back up here. We're not head of the eagle, going over the edge of the slide, it's like a ski jump. So you don't need your hands back, we're not flying. It's just pull it apart so you can feel the back of the shoulder. Do it with one hand. And with fingers on the back of the shoulder, feel it as you pull your hand out to the side. The back of your shoulder, right there, will start to squeeze. That's what we're working. So grab your weights. Knees bent, lean forward, pull the hands apart. Now it doesn't need to be a massive movement. You could play about with hand position, see what you feel works more. The focus is still keeping a little bit of a bend in the elbows as you go, and feel the back of the shoulder work to pull everything around you. And as you feel it pulling around you, it's getting into the back of the shoulder. It's working a little part of the upper back. My lower back is in bits at the moment. Sciatica doesn't like me again. So I'll show you side on. should just go really sideways. We're not trying to pull it back out to the corners, just out to the side. Your arms stay in line with your shoulders, but we don't need a really high lift to feel the back of the shoulder pinching and squeezing and lifting. 12 seconds. 2, 1, there we go. Okay, so we've worked around the individual parts of the shoulder. Now we're going to do more in one go. The shoulder press. I don't really give that. The shoulder press. We're going to get some variations. Grab your weights, split the stance, 1 foot forwards. Let's get into it. Okay, options on shoulder press. We started out, normal press. So feet shoulder width apart. We're going to press the weight up. Little bend in the elbow. Don't lock your arms out. Slight bend in the elbow. Push. Bring it up. Bring it down. So I'm keeping the weights just outside shoulder width all the time. You can bring them into the middle so they touch. It's up to you. Ideally, minimum position at the bottom is 90 degrees. If you go a bit lower, that's great. So that will work the front of the shoulder, the sides and the back will support it. Okay, so let's make it a little bit different. Yeah. Bring your elbows in front. Palms facing you. Palms facing you. As you press up, your palms face forwards. So you get that twist in the wrist. But everything stays in, close, narrow to the body, shoulder width at most kind of thing. Elbows, arms, weights, keep it refined. So this is known as the Arnold press. Some big guy Arnold years ago, don't know if you've heard of him. Work the shoulders, front of the shoulder, side of the shoulder, that twist rolls the movement around it. Okay, keep that split stance. Now instead of pushing up, I want to take it forward slightly. So it's coming out in front of you, about 45 degrees. So keep the tummy tight, try not to lean back. So this keeps the load on the shoulders a bit differently, taking it forwards. Instead of taking it forwards, this time we're going from the shoulders out. Shoulder width much wider. Shoulder width to rest. Out wide. So this changes the effect on the shoulders again, taking that weight wider. If we can go wide, we can go narrow. We can cross over. And just for fun, you can actually press backwards, push behind you, and keep this going there. So if you push it back, by taking it back behind you, we're engaging your lats, your upper back. We're engaging all parts of the shoulder, working the tricep, working the core. But good to get the upper back involved, because that's where we're going next. Bend over row. One weight. You always do it with 2. Let's do it with 1. 1 foot forwards. Bend that back knee and your back foot up on your toes. There's a message. Ooh, you like them? So, it's also good going backwards. Great for just general shoulder health and mobility. Okay, so you split your stance, back foot up on the toes, you lean it in. You can, if you need to, rest on that front leg. The weight, kind of semicircle. So we can feel the upper back starting to squeeze to pull your arm back into place. Not a lot of bend in the arm when it comes back. If you look at that there, the mid position, I've got a tiny bend in the arm compared to where it was at the bottom, yeah? I can feel all the work coming from behind the ribs. You could, of course, just pull it back, really drive the elbow back. Then we stretch, twist forward slightly, bang, stretch, pull, stretch, pull. It's up to you. Mix it up, give it variety. If you do it where you just let it roll back, slight bend in the elbow, it's more of the upper back itself. If you get that bit of a bicep pull as well, then we get full recruitment, full development. So let's go the other way. So like I said earlier, you can rest on your front leg if you want to, or if you need to. Not compulsory. You can keep your other hand free, just so you're using your glutes, you're using your leg, you're using your core, you're using your back, lower back a little bit more. I prefer one arm resting here so I can make sure I'm focusing on working the upper back that I'm trying to get into. I'm not worried about my balance, my lower back giving out, my core getting tired. I'm doing this to work my upper back. I'm bracing and supporting so I can work the upper back. If you want to do it the other way, it's not wrong. Trust me, feel free. You go with which way you prefer. 4, 3, 2. Okay. So next exercise, what are we on to now? Number 7. Tricep extensions. Standing up. Okay. So tricep extensions, standing. Started out no weight. I want to make sure you get this right. So bring your hands up. Bring your hands up. Keep the elbows pointing to the ceiling. Upper arm close to you. It's quite common to let the elbows flare out. Keep them in. Your hands should be back of the neck, bottom of the neck. You're going to drive it right up. Really squeeze at the top when you get there, and then bring it down for that full stretch. One weight. One weight. One hand. Bring it up. Your other hand. Support the arm. You can bring your hand behind you, or you can just hold in front. You're going to support the arm, hold it in place to keep the elbow pointing up. With that weight down low, drive it right up. So you hold that arm in place. Drop it down, get a stretch up to the top. Drop it down, bring it all the way up. Squeeze when you hit the top. Make it work. And it's that stretch at the bottom is the important part. You'll be tempted when you're tired to go part way and stop, when you could actually go a bit lower. Yeah? Don't let it stop in the middle, let it stop or rest at the bottom. Get into that stretch. Pick it all the way up. Let's do the other arm. The same thing. Drop it back, drive it up. All the time, elbow points to the ceiling, upper arm close to your head. Give it that squeeze at the top. And then of course we've done it with one weight on each arm, so you might as well do it 2 hands on the weight. So for me it's easy because it's a plate, put my hand through it. You've got a dumbbell, hold each end, or a dumbbell in each hand. Same thing, this is now where you haven't got your other hand for support to squeeze your upper arm in. So you've got to focus on it. You will probably find, a lot of people find, as they do this, they arch their back. Yeah, don't do that. Split the stance. Your hips can drop forwards. Keep your abs engaged. Little bend in the knee if you need to as well, if you want to. Anything to make sure that you're not arching your back out. Keep it controlled. So now we've done tricep extensions going up. That will work. Kind of. The tricep is made of 3 parts. The outer head, it gives you a little bit of a horseshoe. Then you've got a middle part that hangs down, and you've got an inner part just on the inside. Triceps, 3 heads. Yeah. So doing the extensions above works a lot for that back part. A little bit on the inside. So now we're going to do kickbacks. but we can isolate the back, a little bit of the outside. Kickbacks, much the same as bent over row. Technique first, hit that same position as you would for rows, arm next to the body. And now keep that upper arm fixed in place. You push it back. When it comes back down, all the pivot is from the elbow. As much as possible, your upper arm is not moving. The only time your upper arm could move in this movement is once you've gone back. You could pull it back a little further just to give it an extra squeeze. So you go straight, squeeze, down, back. Get away. Let's try it. So, assume the position. Someone. Bring your arm next to the body. You push it back. Just give me a few here. Normal movement. Just squeeze it back and down. Feel the triceps start to work. Now add that extra squeeze. Straight, lift it a little bit. Down, down. Straight, lift, down, down. And you can change your hand position. You can have your palm facing in, palm facing back. As you turn your hand position, it will turn the arm slightly, change the angle of effect on the back of the arm. Okay, let's go to the other side. Same thing. So it comes up, squeeze it back. Just the tricep on its own first. Just get used to the basis of the basic part of the movement. From that basic part, squeeze it out, lift, back and in. Just that extra little lift, that extra little squeeze. Really put some extra pressure into the tricep, extra bit of work, because now we're pulling it from the top of the muscle as well. Come on, we got 10 seconds, and then we get to lie down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're down to the floor. We've got 4 exercises to go. We're doing triceps lying down. Move that chair. So, tricep extensions, lying down. Now we've done these a few times, I keep getting asked about them. Bring your hands up. Now you can probably think, you could just bring it straight down to your head and lift, your elbow pointing above you. Yes, that works. That still stretches and contracts the tricep, gets the back of the arm to work. However, we can make it better. We bring it back. We bring the weights down. The weights will come either side of the head or behind the head, and then lift up. Your elbows kind of in line with your ear. So even when you straighten your arm, it's still back behind you. The tricep is still loaded. Okay, grab a weight. Let's feel the difference. So let's do it. Weight above you. Bring it down towards your forehead. For obvious reasons, these are also known as skull crushers. Because if you kind of drop the weight or you lose all power, yeah, well, there goes your forehead. Don't do that. It's another reason to do it this way. Bring it back. Bring the weight down. Nice stretch. Still keeping your elbows in at shoulder width. And the more you can get it so your arm is stretched out, back behind you, the more the tricep has to work to hold this position. We've got a minute to go. Let's do something a little bit different with lying down tricep extensions. We're going to take it across the body. So I'm going to put the weight in my left hand. Right arm bracing to keep my elbow in line with the middle of my chest. And the weight is now going to come down to the right side of my head. So again, we've got that stretch position, contract the muscle, but it's still across the body, it's still stretching to work to hold the weight up. So these are cross-body tricep extensions. Still squeeze it out nice and straight at the top. You get another thing. So you get that brace from the opposite arm, the resting arm, while this works around you against the back of the arm to really switch on. So we've done lying tricep extensions where it goes back. We've also done cross-body variations. So where do we go next? We've got 3 movements to go. We've got flies, chest press, and we've got plank toe touch. So, flies. I might as well stay here. Keep it in that position. Again, technique. Forget the weight to begin with. Hands above you. Bring your hands together. And bend the elbows. So bring your hands in slightly. Push the palm of your hands together. This position in your arm stays there. We go out to the side. Still that little bend in the arm. Back to the middle. And all we're trying to feel is the chest working. The chest's function is to take your arm from the side and basically pull your elbow up to the middle. Yeah? It works that whole humerus, the upper arm, it pulls it into place. So, grab your weights. Alright. And let's give it a go. So from above you, take it wide, that bend in the elbow, squeeze it up. Now if you slowly let the weight come down, and then quickly come up, you might feel it work a little bit more, because you're lowering the weight and the tension. Now if you want to move it a little bit, as it comes up, bring your palms to be face up, palms facing your head. At the bottom of the movement, they can face your feet. So a little bit of a twist through the arms as you go can create a little bit more function, a little bit more motion through the muscles of the chest, the pecs themselves. A little bit of shoulder recruitment. But you can really squeeze into it, try and get your elbows together at the top. As you squeeze your elbows in, you should feel your chest contract down a little bit harder to get into the middle. You could of course play with the range of movement. You could go part way up. So it's just enough to feel your chest lift the weight and down. Lift and back down to the floor. So it's only a small movement. I know here, even 5 kilos in each hand, trust me, I can feel that working. Just as it picks the weight up, pause, take it back to the floor. My elbows are going about, I don't know, about 6 inches. Not a lot. Okay, chest press. Now, a lot of people, when they're doing their flies, they go so heavy that they go out for a fly and then they press up, and out for the fly and press up. Trust me, it's not a swimming lesson. If you see people in the doing that in the gym, tell them Simon said sort it out, or just use less weight and behave. Behave, Simon says. Chest press. Easy way to set this up. Pick the weights up, take them above you, bring it down to the floor. Your hand should be above your elbow. Yeah, that's where we start. Then you push it up. The weight comes up above the body, a little bend in the elbow, weight kind of above the shoulder or above the chest. Okay? And then you bring it back out to the side, into the middle. Bend the arm, straighten the arm. Bend the arm, straighten the arm. Not exactly rocket science, people. Why do so many people, when they're doing chest press, get confused? I do wonder. Anyway, so we could go from here, we could add in kind of varieties to it. The arm that's coming down is not stopping on the floor. You're holding it up, you're keeping that tension a little bit of a push against the weight just to contract the chest. The other one can wrap out. You could go one each way, and then you can make it two each side, just for a bit of variety. And then you make it threes, and then you make it fours, and so on. Yeah, or you could just go, I don't know, you could do 8, and then do 8 the other way. Again, pushing up. You could keep the weight wider than body width, so it pushes out to the side slightly. Shorter movement, still that bend in the elbow. It doesn't need to come up above you, it could go wide if you're pushing it outside slightly. This is a great way, randomly, to increase strength around your chest and shoulders and tricep. Because if you think, if you're pushing it like I'm doing here, if I've got 5 kilos and I'm pushing up here and it's quite easy. If I could rep out with 5 kilos out here where there's a lot more tension on the muscle, if I could do just the same here, 5 kilos, and make that really easy. In the middle I should be able to use 8, 10. So you can increase your strength by changing the width of your movement. And if you really start to kind of, from the floor, you press out wide, you barely get your elbows off the ground. Trust me, you feel it in your chest. Because your chest is just biting to pick the weight up. Alright then folks, we have one movement to go. It is a plank toe touch. Now we've worked all around the chest and the shoulders and the arms. We're going to annoy it with a bit of core work. So, plank toe touch. Press up position for the plank for this one. You could do it from your elbows, but you don't get a huge range of movement. So, press up position, up on your toes. Because if you're going to do it on your knees, touching your toes is easy, you just push your bum back. Not having that. So, you can have it on your knuckles or on your palm of your hand. I prefer to do press ups or, I hate doing press ups, or plank. Off my knuckles, it takes the stress off the wrist, so I can just support myself more comfortably. Anyway, hips down. All we're looking to do here is push your bum up and back, so you can reach back and tap your hand, tap towards your foot. Now what you might find, like I just did, I started out with my plank, my hands right under my shoulders. I actually need them about 6 inches further back. So when I push back, keeping my legs as straight as I can, bum up in the air. Little dip at the front if you want, but try and just come back to that straight line. As your bum goes up, you can push your hands back towards your feet, towards your toes. Or hell, keeping your legs as straight as you can, try and get to your heels or under the sole of the foot. All the time when you come back out to that plank position, it's a straight line in the body. So you try not to dip. You try not to arch at the bottom of it, really, because that just puts a load of stress and compression on the lower back, and that's no good for you. So, straight line, push back. I mean, if any of you do yoga, it's like trying to push yourself back into downward dog. Trying to get your heels to the floor, head down, bum up. Except from that downward dog, you're on one hand, you're trying to reach your other hand to your foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is us for today. Whew. So breaking exercises down for upper body, playing with their techniques. Better stretch it out, ease it off a little bit. So So let's start out. Just say kneeling, hips back to your heels. Let's take one arm across you. Quick stretch here. Pull your arm across, keep your shoulder down away from your jaw. So we can really work around the shoulders. And then change around. Let's go the other way. Same thing, shoulder down. Yeah, let it stretch round the shoulder, pull it across, stretch your upper back slightly. Take your hands up. Hands back behind you. And then with one hand, either push the tricep or you can pull it from behind to stretch the back of the arm. But don't put your pressure on the elbow. If you put pressure on the elbow joint here, it just messes up that joint. Don't do that. We're trying to feel the stretch off the tricep, off the back of the arm. And once you've done one side, you better do the other, I suppose. Pull it across, let it stretch. If you really kind of pull that arm across behind you, it stretches out through the lat side as well, through your upper back. And you can always lean into it. And get around the upper back, around the ribs. That's just a bit weird. Bring it down, take your hands in front. One hand touching the other, don't lock them together. Push your hands away. Chin down to your chest. And then just hunch into it, drop into it, so we can stretch. Really push your hands away. Feel it around the upper back of the shoulders, as if your hands are being pulled away from you. Let everything stretch out. And bring it back. Okay. Last bit, to stretch the core, take your hands back behind you. Just lean it back. Little bit of a stretch here. If you want to stretch it more, take your elbows to the floor. Or, if you move your feet to the side slightly, so don't sit on your heels completely, you could just, if you want, just lay yourself down. Full stretch, great stretch here for the front of the hips. If you find your lower back is tight and awkward at times, doing this will stretch through the hip flexors and the front of the thighs. Try and relax into it. Try and get your lower back to the ground. Yeah, that's something for you to work on. Okay, tomorrow, I think we're going to do EMOM like we did last week. I love that session. So, quite a short, quite a powerful blast. Tomorrow morning, an EMOM workout every minute, on the minute. Last week we did half an hour. Go a similar kind of thing tomorrow, maybe a little bit longer. I'll play with the ideas today. So that is today's technique session, that is today's workout done. I'm going to disappear, do some marking, do some coursework, and then go and cut people's utility bills. Nobody wants to pay more than they need to for stuff. If you want a cheaper way, get in touch. Right, I'm off to go and play and do stuff, and coffee. Right, see you later guys. Bye bye.